Is this an engaging way to start a stream? Hello and welcome to This Is Wine. I'm your host, Travis Helwig. If this is your first time here, the whole point of this thing is that as I've gotten older, I've been in more situations where people ask me to choose what wine I would like to drink. And when I am asked to make that choice, I don't know what to say. And it immediately reminds me that I didn't grow up rich. And so this is to help me learn how to grow up rich and drink wine. So I set out to do this so you guys could drink the same bottle as me every week, and we can learn from an expert with a couple of friends of mine and say things like tannins, which it's show number 6. I've been taught what a tannin is 4 times, and I haven't retained any of it. So maybe this week is the week. So before we begin, I want to say this is the only time I'll say this. I say it every week, but this show cost me a couple $100 to make each week. It goes a long way towards me being able to keep doing it. If you're enjoying that we're doing it, if you subscribe, I'll get a couple bucks. If you have Amazon Prime, you could subscribe for free. And I get a couple bucks and I can keep doing this and paying Mark and buying people wine when I have to buy people wine. And that's it. That's the last time I'll say it because I hate doing it. And you also get to make a little wine in the chat if you have it. So I'll go ahead and introduce our guests first, and then we'll bring in our experts. I am very excited about this show, which I canceled 2 weeks ago because I had something that I thought was COVID, and it wasn't. But we have incredible guests who went to the same high school, but I don't think at the same time. We're going to find out. I'll introduce our first guest. She's a comedian and a writer, and she's promised to make me cry tonight, which honestly might not be that hard. I'm very sensitive lately. Please welcome to the show, Broti Gupta. Broti, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. At some point during the show, I'm going to either say one curse word at you or give you the middle finger. I haven't decided yet, but I'm sure that one of those will probably make you sob like a baby.
I am terrified of curse words in general, specifically the S word.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, cool. Broti, what is your relationship to wine? Do you drink it? Are you a drinker even? We've never hung out in real life. We're internet friends.
Yeah. You could be tiny like a thimble or big like a giant, and I wouldn't know.
Both.
Yeah. That's kind of beautiful. I drink really whatever, and I don't drink by myself ever, so I like for it to be a social event just because I want witnesses for whatever happens, I guess.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah. Like in a good way, or in like do you want people to see you be funny, or do you want people around when you make a fool of yourself?
Here's the thing, I want to be held accountable for my actions. I think that's fair. That's the most important thing about wine, I think. You may act a certain way that you need to later be held accountable for.
All right, so I'm going to bring on your classmate. Before I do, what was your school's mascot?
Our school's mascot was it was the stinger.
The stinger?
Yeah, of like a bee or something.
You weren't the bees, you were the stingers?
I think so. They didn't get the rights to the full bee.
Well, after the Bee movie, it was hard.
It was really hard because then that became Seinfeld's mascot. Mm-hmm. I didn't know people could do that.
Yeah. Do you remember? I don't want to get into the Bee movie. So let's bring on our next guest. She is one of the nicest people I've ever met. A true dream, my close personal friend, a fellow stinger of the pod, Emily Favreau. Emily, thank you for joining us.
Hey, Trav.
How are you?
The nicest person you've ever met.
Yeah, I was being facetious.
Oh, cool. Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited that you're doing this. Thank you to Buggy 007 for the sub. Emily, what is your relationship to wine before I ask you about the stingers?
Yeah, it took Brody a second to remember our mascot. I remember all the words to the Stinger Rumble personally.
Okay. I'm going to ask you about that.
I will probably be doing at the end of this bottle of white wine. My relationship to wine. So I used to not be a big wine drinker at all. Like just not into it. Always sort of gave me a headache if I drank too much of it. Like no other alcohol really does. Like wine hangovers for me were really bad. So I always just avoided it. And like I used to like bring a flask to something that I knew was beer and wine only. But then
that sounds terrifying.
no, it's cool. Start bringing a flask places.
Okay.
Like for example, Tommy and Hannah's rehearsal dinner, I brought my own vodka. Cool. It was in wine. But now that I am a mother in a pandemic, to me, it's sort of like tough to drink a vodka soda at 5 o'clock. However, wine feels totally socially acceptable. Because I'm not really trying to like get drunk. I'm just trying to like end the day. And when you see no adults all day long, it's important to start drinking.
I think that's kind of why I started wanting to get into wine in the pandemic, because I was drinking like martinis and whiskey, and that's not good to do.
That's
to
how I
yourself.
was too. Yeah. So I'm now into wine.
Great. Have you ever had this wine?
No, and I know nothing about wine. I usually just like drink whatever people have left at my house. But I would love to know more. So I'm thrilled to be invited.
Well, I have an idea that I'm just coming up with now before we bring in Ilya. Sometimes when the wine expert comes on, they teach us too much and then we kind of repeat what they say. So I want us to smell the wine before they come on and tell everyone what we smell. And then we'll bring Ilya on, because I don't know. This has failed me each time. Okay, it smells like piss.
Oh no, you got the prank bottle that I sent.
Oh no.
Prank bottle? I would pay money for a prank bottle. Like I would start that.
Yeah. Travis, that's mine. And let me tell you, I am not hydrated.
Yeah, I can tell. It's strong. Asparagus?
I'm like incredibly ill. No asparagus even. It's just
that's bad.
I should be in a hospital.
All right. Does anyone smell anything? I'll tell you what I smell besides Brody's deeply funky urine. I smell, I don't know, clementines. I'm going to say clementines, and we'll see if that means anything when he gets on.
I don't even know.
I think you're only saying.
Sorry, what?
Oh, I was just going to say, I think you're only saying clementine because you saw that word appear.
Did I see that word appear?
I think so. I think that was somebody's like.
Oh, fuck, you're right. You're 100% right. Thank you, Clementine, for the sub. Emily, what do you smell?
Honestly, I think that like I don't want to say it in front of Ilya, the wine expert, because I know like this is his close wine, but like I smell a little bit of like a perfume.
Okay. All right.
Which I think you're not supposed to like say wine is perfumey. Also, I promise I'll pour more, but I have different wine glasses to choose from, and I'd like to be educated on which is the right one.
All right, Brody, give us a smell, and we'll bring on our expert.
I'm gonna throw out the hip fruit peach.
Ooh, okay. We're having fun now tonight. All right. All right, so let's bring on our expert. He's the first person we've had from an actual wine company. He works for I almost mispronounced it. Skurnik Wines, and he runs the entire French portfolio. He'll tell us what that means. But please welcome the very funny and smart and handsome Ilya Smolenskiy. Ilya, thank you so much for coming.
Hey everyone.
Hi,
Glad to be here.
Hey, Ilya.
Those are some interesting tasting notes.
Okay, good. Were any of them close to what is right?
I would say all of them were pretty much notes that I get also.
Would you say perfumey, and is perfumey offensive?
It depends on how you use the word perfumey.
I mean, I wear perfume. I love perfume.
In the wine world, it is used as a pejorative a lot of the times.
Sorry, I feel like we're starting off on a bad foot.
But it's okay. But I think what you're saying is it has a lot of smell. It's very perfumed.
Yeah.
But if you actually think it smells like, bad perfume, then that's not not something you want.
Like Chanel.
Correct.
Okay.
Ilya, tell us about yourself and your company, and then let's do some wine stuff, please, because I like to drink it.
Sure. So yeah, I work for a company called Skurnik Wines. We're an importer and distributor, a family-owned import and distributor that's been around
Love
since
that.
1987.
I love
we're-
family-owned businesses.
Yeah. We are considered one of the most important, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but really one of the most important importers of fine wine in the country. And yeah, I have a history. I've been in the wine business for about 10 years now, working at Skurnik for about 6 of those 10 years. And yeah, I love French wine. And every day I talk about French wine and try to sell good French wine to nice people at nice restaurants and retail stores.
That's fun.
That's
I
the
like
essential part of it.
Well, I will say that you're the first person also to have sent us wine from your company, and we didn't have to pay for it. So I promise you that I will only say that I love Skurnik wine over and over again. I'll say it once every 5 minutes during the show. I love all Skurnik wines and properties. They're a family-owned business, and I love them, baby.
Great. If Mark could just put that like at the bottom of the screen every 5 minutes, just in case, that'd be great.
All right. Well, teach us how to do this. Do you want us to smell? Do you want us to drink?
Yeah. So the first thing, obviously, you want to smell the wine. I've seen past episodes, and I think Travis, you don't give yourself enough credit for how good of a taster you are, because I do think you're a pretty good taster. And Emily, Brody, I have a feeling you guys are being pretty good just based on how you've been talking about the nose. The nose, by the way, a term you use for how the wine smells. So stick your nose way in there. Just don't be shy. You really want to get in there. Give it a couple of swirls. Kind of really opens up the wine. Really kind of concentrates the aromatics of the wine when you swirl it. And honestly, and one of the things that I want to talk about with wine, I think a lot of times there's a little too much focus on flavors on wine. People like treat it kind of like a game, right? Like how good is their fruit? Like how many fruits can they name? It becomes more of an exercise on, how many, can you say kumquat, 3 times in a tasting note and make it sound fancy, but it doesn't really mean anything.
Clementine was pretty good. I thought Clementine was good.
I thought Clementine was like a little pretentious.
Thank you. That's what I want to become. Sorry, Brody, what?
Oh, I was just going to say, I thought that it was just the last word you physically saw. That was right.
Thank you, Hello or Bust, for doing that. Brody, you're 100% right. I didn't even realize that I had seen the word Clementine, and I was just repeating what I saw. So I'm going to say I smell Hello or Busts right now in this. Keep going, Ilya. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No worries. So what I get, when it is fun to still talk about specific notes you get, because that is, I guess part of the fun of wine, but it doesn't mean everything. But for me, I do get a ton of citrus, and then that's why Clementine is right on the money. For me, it's Clementine, but it's also lemon, lime. I get blood orange even, which is kind of like this. I always get this note with particularly white Burgundies. Blood orange is a really good sign of a nice white Burgundy.
Is that what this is? Is this a white Burgundy?
Yeah, and we'll get into that, what that means if you want to right now. But actually, one more thing I want to get to about the nose and what makes this wine, I think, even extra special, and I wonder if you guys get it. There's a hint of like a flintiness, like a gunflint. Like ever like gunflint?
I've never shot a gun. Is that...
like those little like pop guns you used to have as a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's flint. So when you pop it, you get that that smell that comes off those little things. So that's like a real note that it happens in a lot of white wines.
Brody, how many guns have you fired?
Well, I haven't fired any yet, but I am excited to fire one and then say this smells a lot like a wine I've tried.
You grew up in Cincinnati. You've never fired a gun?
I've never fired a gun. My mom has, and she sent me a photo of herself firing said gun, and she looked really comfortable in a way that made me upset.
Ilya, the Magical Missa is drinking a sparkling Burgundy, and she gets cement. Is that something that she should be getting?
I don't think I know what cement smells like. It's kind of neutral to me, but I think what they're trying to say is kind of like, this is a real wine term. Something called crushed rock. That is a
Cool.
real wine term that people use to describe wines. It smells and or tastes like crushed rock, which sounds like nonsense, but it kind of is a true thing about wine.
Is there any way I could start like a term? Like, is there a set limit on what terms we can use, or could I be like, this tastes like snake? And people would be like, yeah, I guess it tastes like snake.
Like, it's a little chuggy.
You'd be doing the entire wine world a big favor because we're running out of words, honestly.
Right.
Like everything tastes like cherries, everything tastes like citrus, everything tastes.
Also, there could be like people would know, you would know that you're a fellow like Travis wine show person if you're like at a tasting and you're like, you know what, this tastes a little snaky to me, you know? It would be like a secret code.
I'm worried about my brand, so this is good. This is good for me. We can sell merch. Okay, I want to drink. I want to drink some. Can I drink some, and then you can tell us about the brand and what we should be tasting and everything?
Absolutely. So one of the reasons when I reached out to Travis about doing the show, seeing that the theme was wine is scary, and it was scary for me too when I first started too. But I thought it'd be really fun to talk about Burgundy because in the wine world, it is by far the scariest wine region for consumers, even for wine professionals. It's just like
ghosts.
There's
a lot of ghosts
spooky ghosts. And so I thought this would be a fun way to kind of try to make it a little less scary because I'm not saying any, it might sound like hyperbole, but it honestly, and really any wine professional, most wine professionals would agree that the best wines in the world come from Burgundy. So this would be a good way to start. So I guess the first thing we should talk about, and I actually had a question for you guys because it's a thing when I do educational events, I like to ask because a lot of preconceived notions. When I say Chardonnay, what comes to mind? What do you feel? How do you feel about Chardonnay?
I think that it's not been one of my favorites.
Okay, why is that?
I probably just had one that was bad, so I applied it to everything else, which is like what racism is. So
you're racist against Chardonnay.
Yeah, and that's on me.
Ilya, would you say that different types of wine are races? Would you call them races of wine?
Whew, that's I'm trying to.
You don't have to answer that.
I'll tell you what I think
go ahead,
about
Emily.
Chardonnay. So just to make Ilya not have to answer that question, which was, I would say that.
Sorry, Ilya.
I thought that I liked Chardonnay because I thought it was like, so I hate sweet. Like I hate anything sweet. Like I don't like sweet drinks. But so I was always like, oh, Chardonnay is my drink. But then I was always like trying to like choke it down. And then I tried a Sauvignon Blanc and I was like, oh, I kind of like this better. Well, actually, John and I, my husband and I did like a blind taste test, like in the middle of quarantine because we only see each other. And we thought we liked Chardonnay, but then we liked the Sauvignon Blanc better during the blind taste test.
Okay.
But I don't know what I like, so I'm here to learn.
And here's what I think when I think of Chardonnay is my point of reference is the Alanis Morissette song "Ironic," and she says like a black fly in your Chardonnay. And so as a young person, I thought Chardonnay was the fanciest wine you could ever drink. So I think of it as a very rich person wine, or at least like someone presenting as rich, which is what I'd like to do.
Okay. So yeah, those are all super common things about Chardonnay that I hear a lot. And yeah, I mean, I guess the problem is because Chardonnay does have kind of a bad connotation for a lot of American consumers. And a lot of it is because it's the most popular white wine in the world and in America. And so there's a ton of it. And I would say most of it is absolute garbage wine. And so when most people try a Chardonnay, and usually they're very inexpensive, at least the ones you see in grocery stores, liquor stores, they taste bad, sometimes sweet, not the sweetest, but like obvious sugary quality to it, and over oaked. So you get those kind of like buttery, super like toasted notes, and that's just kind of unpleasant. And so it's a lot of times when we're talking about white Burgundy, and when you talk about white Burgundy, it is Chardonnay, 99 99.9% of white Burgundies are going to be 100% Chardonnay, you're kind of starting at like with a battle. But what I want everyone, you can taste it in this wine. Again, Chardonnay makes the best white wines in the world. And in Burgundy, that's where the most expensive wines in the world come from. And it's not just, bullshit marketing. It's there is a reason for it. And so
Ilya, let me interrupt you briefly. We have a guest on the stream. I want to see the baby drink wine. Give the baby wine.
He prefers he's sort of a Brunello guy, but he's heard we're tasting whites, and so he's not interested.
Oh, hi, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. This is the first time I've ever missed bedtime for Travis's show. So let me just say goodnight to my child.
Okay. Really unprofessional, but fine. All right, keep going, Ilya. Tell us why you chose this wine, and then let's talk about what we're tasting in it, I think.
Absolutely. So this is a very relatively small producer. So this is not going to be a kind of producer you find in every single grocery store or liquor store you find, but using there's a website called Wine Searcher where you can easily find wines in local shops. He is first off, he's 21 years old. The guy who make this wine, literally Same. 21. He was actually 20 years old when he made this specific vintage. And he comes from a really crazy lineage of Burgundian winemakers. He's the 13th generation of his family to make wine. And this is only his second vintage, so his only second year making wine, and he's already one of our most sought after producers. The wines sell out pretty much almost on arrival at this point. Really fervent following in the wine community. But I was able to find you guys some wine, so don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
And yeah, I mean, we can, Burgundy is complicated for a lot of people. And so I thought this was a good wine because it's really kind of the base level Burgundy, but from a good producer. So you're really getting an idea of what great white Burgundy can taste like, great Chardonnay can taste like. And so we should just get into the taste of the wine and see what you guys think, because I think it's unbelievably good.
Wait, you muted yourself, Em. Sorry, I was trying to unmute you, but you're muted.
I'm muted. I'm sorry. I have several wine glasses here. This is very small. This I would say is medium, and then I have a very large one. For a Chardonnay, what would you recommend?
Medium is fine. I mean, honestly, all three are great as long as you're drinking from a bowl. Like a bowl type glass. You're doing well.
Okay, so mine's good. Mine's in a bowl.
Yeah, you have a stemless. Totally fine.
Yeah, it's in a bowl, and I just got it out of the microwave. So that's
Broti, you've referenced microwaving it twice. Have you been microwaving your wine while Ilya's been talking?
Yeah, that's what I assumed we were all doing. That's why I muted myself.
Okay. Do you know what chilled means?
I thought that was
Is this would you call this like a good pour, or would you here's something I don't know. Like when people come over and I pour their glasses, sometimes I feel like I'm like skimping on them. And then otherwise I'm like, so is that normal?
That's like a perfect restaurant pour.
Ooh.
Like if you're a server at a restaurant, and there's like some Assam, checking your pour levels, this would be like, 100 out of 100.
Okay. Amazing.
But at home, I usually pour a little less, honestly, because it's easier to swirl, and then it's easier to kind of get the essence of the wine and the smell.
Right.
But it's not that big of a difference. Now, Travis has a real classic Burgundy bowl. That is nice.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The Burgundy bowls are a little wider at the base. That's how you know it's Burgundy bowl.
I've been told multiple times that it's not right for other wines, so I'm happy I finally got it right. Clementine has a bad habit of drinking wine straight out of the bottle. That seems like as scary as Emily's flask at her close friend's wedding. Truly
There's
wild.
nothing wrong with bringing a flask to a beer and wine event. There's not.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And also, if you're drinking straight out of the bottle, all you have to worry about is having a straw that's long enough.
Mm-hmm.
She's right.
Okay, Ilya,
Yes.
So let's do some tasting. Let's find out, because I've already had a full glass, so I want to know. I want to know what we should be tasting.
So white wine, right? I mean, this is actually the first white wine you're doing, right?
Correct.
On the
Yeah,
show.
we haven't done one.
So you're looking for kind of, in some ways, similar things to good red wines. But white wines, the first thing I notice when I'm tasting, it's beyond flavor. Flavor is kind of the last thing I think about. The first thing I think about is does it have high acidity, right? Does it make your lip pucker? Does it kind of attack the side of your cheeks? Do you feel a little tingle on your tongue? Like you would have when you have a clementine, right? Great white wines have to have high acidity most of the time. There's a few exceptions. So that's the first thing. This wine does, right? Because that's what gives it its refreshing quality. Like I have a sip, I want to go right back to the glass because it's like, it makes you want to drink more. So it's a very dangerous wine in that sense.
Yeah, I already am drinking a lot.
The second thing I look for is texture. And that's probably the aspect of wine least talked about on a consumer level that we wine people just like obsess over and are super annoying about. And that's how it feels. How does it feel in your mouth?
I want to say, I think this wine is thicker than I'm used to. It's more viscousy than I'm used to.
Disgusting way to describe wine.
It's like spit. Is that right?
Yeah, I was gonna say mine is very thick, like a honey, like a fermented honey.
Mm-hmm. That could be from the microwave. It could be.
I don't know.
I would say, so this is, Chardonnay is considered a medium to full-bodied grape variety. So that makes sense. It's fuller body than like a Sauvignon Blanc, which is the other most common white wine that you find, most popular white wines. And by the way, I just want to point out, I think Travis said cat piss when he smelled the wine.
Yeah.
That is an actual wine term most commonly used to describe Sauvignon Blanc, like cat piss specifically. And once you know that, and you'll smell it, and next time you have a Sauvignon Blanc, you'll never be able to forget it. It's I kind of ruined Sauvignon Blanc for a lot of people in that. I'm so sorry.
I will say my cat peed on the rug today, so it could just be that I'm smelling my actual cat's piss. So it's either that or the wine, Ilya.
Yeah. So wine could be full-bodied, but I think the key and the thing you're looking for is, does the acidity kind of make it still refreshing, right? Like there's so many white wines, particularly bad Chardonnay, is heavy and kind of gloopy, right? It just like sits there. It doesn't refresh. Like it just kind of like falls down your gullet instead of like this wine, I think really kind of like shoots through. That the acidity keeps it really alive while it's in your mouth. And I'm so sorry I have to keep saying in your mouth so many times.
That's why we asked you here, is for me to ask you uncomfortable questions and you to say in your mouth. Okay.
Now, so does that translate at all? Does you get any of that in this wine?
I think so. Broti, Emily,
I like this wine.
I do too.
Yeah. It tastes, it's smooth. Is that correct? Is it?
Yeah. So we would use the term balanced because, and that is really and going back to why I said like flavors are kind of less important is because, great wine and shitty wine both can taste like clementines and oranges and citrus or whatever. They all can have that flavor. But what shitty wine doesn't have is balance. And what that means is, how does the wine come together all, in your mouth?
Inside of you. How does the wine feel inside of you?
This is unsafe. This is an unsafe environment.
Yeah.
I don't know Broti well enough to do this.
Well, Travis, I have just written down 2. So, count how many you have left.
And so when you're drinking it, basically nothing really jumps out right away, right? There's no sharpness in a red wine would be the tannin. I'm sorry I have to bring up that word again, Travis. I know it's tough.
It's triggering.
But for white wine, does the alcohol jump out, right? For me, the alcohol is completely integrated in this wine. It doesn't I don't say it barely tastes like it has alcohol to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? I like this wine because, especially when I'm drinking around 5 o'clock on the dot, which is what I do now, I prefer a white to a red because I like just a cold glass of white wine. I have been known to throw in a few ice cubes, maybe I'm doing that. Can you? Why is white wine cold and red wine not?
So the chill in a white wine kind of accentuates that. Like white wine is generally goes with lighter fare, like lighter food,
Right, like
and so
fish
it has
and chicken.
or like it's usually as an aperitif, so you can have it more on its own. And
Okay.
so the cold or when it's chilled, it kind of it makes it a little more refreshing. Honestly, it makes it just a more pleasurable drink. And by the way, ice cubes, like no shade.
Really?
I would take ice cube over a really warm any wine any day of the week.
I love to hear that.
Like having an overly warm wine is way worse than throwing an ice cube in.
So would you say like if you had
Okay, Emily, I'm so sorry to stop you. Someone paid money to force Ilya to ask a question, and then we'll get back to you.
I don't know how Twitch works. This is cool. Great.
It's okay. People love video games. Clementine asks, when you say some wines feel heavy, can that be a good thing? Like some wines, red wines taste kind of heavy, but in a delicious way.
That comes down to pure personal choice, personal taste. To me personally, I don't like overly heavy wines. Usually when I use the word heavy, that means it's a sign of imbalance, right? Heavy can come through in a lack or too much alcohol. Wines that are high in alcohol can feel heavy. Wines that don't have enough acidity to balance the fruit, right? So if there's too much fruit in the wine, it could feel a little heavy to me. And what I'm looking for, again, is that balance. Everything is trying to be harmonious with the wine, the acidity, the fruits, everything coming together. So if you like heavy reds, that's great. I mean, it doesn't mean it's a bad wine in any shape and form. It just means that you like more full-bodied reds or whites.
I love my curvy wine. Emily, what were you saying?
I don't recall.
Do you feel good to know that it's not trashy to drink with ice cubes, though?
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I like bordering on a little bit trashy, but
yeah,
I guess
I wouldn't make a habit of it. I mean, if you're at home, I would still recommend just properly
I'm not
chilling
like
it.
leaving my wine on the counter, but like sometimes
But
it's
if you're
not enough.
Right.
I
if
have
you're
a
at a
question
restaurant,
for
though,
everyone
get that
here.
ice cube.
Cool.
How many bottles of wine does everyone here have in their home? I'm curious. Because right now I want to say 10 because I have to drop off wine for Thursday and then I have a show next week. But that's all the wine I have. How many just bottles do you guys have in your home?
I don't have many. I probably have just like 3 or 4. We should do a wine run.
You have 50 bottles of wine? Why are you watching this show? You know way more than any of us. Emily, how many bottles do you have?
I bet we have like 12, but I also keep like some bottles of rosé like in our pantry in case we're invited to a gathering and we need to bring a bottle of wine.
That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea because what we do is
I got you, girl.
Thank you. So what I'm going to do from now on is stop at your house.
Yeah, come on by.
Ilya, are we allowed to just ask you general wine questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
What if you said no? That would have made the whole thing a really different tone.
No, I have a PowerPoint.
Yeah, there would be like a lot of tension between us.
Please, I'm a professional.
So when I was in college, my friends and I
last year,
next year, hopefully, when I was in college, my friends and I saw a video on the very famous app Instagram where somebody made Jell-O with champagne, and that's then what we did, and it tasted awful. What are your thoughts on A, this story, and B, would you hang out with me and my friends? And that you can answer based on personality. Just that you can.
I think the story is top. I mean, I felt like I was there when you were making those champagne Jell-O shots. I guess were they Jell-O shots?
Well, I don't know. We just kind of, we just as
was it
you
bubbly?
do. Yeah, as you do with wine, we just all grabbed a spoon and went for it.
But was it Jell-O like carbonated? Did it taste carbonated?
Yeah, there were bubbles in it. It was like there was a lot of physics going on that we didn't really think about.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds
Where'd
like
you go to
I want to
college?
be your friend.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to know. I went.
Uh-oh, it looks like there's
Mark.
people talking about friendship in college. It must be wine o'clock somewhere.
Wine.
Oh
You
my God.
piece of shit, Mark. We were having a
That's
nice
like- that's
conversation. We were going to find out where Brody went to college.
That's
Or
the
is it
definition-
wine 30? Is
This
it wine 30?
Literally the definition of chuggy, which I recently have Googled because I wanted to make sure I wasn't. But
People over the age of 19 saying chuggy is chuggy. Everybody,
That's
it is
that's what I
time
heard after I tweeted it.
to play a game. I am
No.
the producer of this show. I'm chaotic. I love this wine. I'm drunk. And
You're
we
an
are going
elected
to play.
official, you piece of shit.
I am an elected official in the neighborhood council of Echo Park, and we are going to play a game, and this is so exciting. I don't know if the people watching today know this exciting fact, but Brody and Emily went to the same high school. And that's so crazy because Travis and I went to the same high school, and Ilya is also here. So we are going to do a game about high school. Oh my
thank
God.
you.
We
No, thank
love
you.
high school so much. We loved high school. Hold on. I'm sharing screen. There it is.
I'm so stressed out.
So it's just, here's the rules, everybody, okay? It's just like the freaking, did the Zoo Babe, you went to high school with Ilya? Great. Any Ilya high school fans in the chat, raise it up now.
Ilya, what was your high school mascot?
Hornets.
The Hornets and the
I think us
Stingers.
because we were
Yeah.
the Stingers. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, my husband's high school was the Hornets too. Did you go to North Reading High School?
No, I did not. Is that in New York?
No, it's in North
No.
Reading, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Cool.
This
Anyways,
game's going great so far.
so this is basically just the newlywed game, except all of us are going to play. I'm going to ask a very simple question about one of our high school experiences. Each of us are going to guess, and then the person we're asking a question is going to tell us the real answer, and we'll all be like, oh, cute, tell us more. And let's keep it positive, okay? There's a lot of toxic energy here, and I don't want any of that in my game.
Really? No.
I will say between me and Ilya, it's really tense.
Between Brody and Ilya have some energy there. We're just gonna move along. Let's start here.
Mark, wait, do we have to write, if it's us being asked the question, do we have to write down our answer? Like in the newlywed game?
No, I want you to write it in your head.
Okay, you
because
can't
I
change
didn't-
it once you decide it.
Yeah,
Am I
once
allowed
you
to turn
decide.
I'm going to turn on a light.
Yeah, you're allowed to turn on a light.
Sure, Brody.
This first question, and like Seigi is saying, there's no drama, only good vibes for this game, okay? Thank
Wow,
you.
I wish Ilya knew that before coming into this. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry.
I deserve this.
Here
Bullying
we go.
Ilya is such a crazy twist. Oh God.
Oh, God.
So, what was Travis's most iconic piece of clothing in high school? Everybody,
You know what?
get-
This is the photo where I decide to get veneers. This is
Wait,
where
how
I
do you-
now
how
know
do
I
you
have to
guess?
get
'Cause I have a
veneers.
guess.
Okay, so the way you guess is we're gonna go just right down the line. I also am, even though I'm hosting, I'm also gonna play for the Travis ones because I have the best answers because I know him. And
Yeah,
so
Mark
for
and I
Claire-
went to high school together.
we went to high school together. And we also went to
Were you guys
elementary
in
and
the
middle
same
school together.
grade?
No, Mark is 3 years younger than me.
2 years younger than you, you dick.
Well, I
And
felt
this
like
is
you were
Butter
3 years
Pie.
younger. That's how little I respected you. I was good friends with Mark's brother, who was a year older than me.
Yeah.
So you were friends with the older kids. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark's brother, Ben,
Cool.
coolest kid in school. Actually,
Yeah,
I
he
love
was-
Ben. Ben also has a Twitch stream. What's his Twitch name so everyone could follow him?
P.S. Garrick. I'll have to find it because it's a,
Yeah, we'll look
it's
it.
a
Mark is
very
great.
oblique reference.
Ben is great. Sorry. What's Travis's most iconic piece?
Okay,
we're
so
guessing.
Travis's. So we're guessing. I'm gonna start. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go last. Ilya, you're gonna start. What do you think Travis's most iconic piece of clothing in high school was? And everybody in the chat, you also let me know.
He strikes me as a Jenko wearer. I don't know if you're that right age, but I'm going to go like a Jenko with like a chain wallet situation.
Also, by the way, this is my brother's username. This is Ben on Twitch. He's great. He's actually streaming right now. So
Oh shit! When we're done, we should do
let's
whatever
raid
that
him.
is.
We're gonna raid Ben. Okay, so Ilya thinks Jinko jeans. Okay, Brody.
I'm gonna say like one diamond cufflink.
Every day in my public high school, a single diamond cufflink.
Well, that's what you blew all the money on.
A lot of people are saying shark tooth or shell necklace. I love it. Okay, Emily,
That's what
what's
the
your
cool
guess?
kids had. That's cool.
I bet he wore one of those like Dare t-shirts, like Dare to
Okay.
stay off drugs.
Ironically or ronically?
No, I think he was like, don't do it.
Don't do
And
it. Okay.
Yeah, and he was daring his peers to not do
Yeah, like
it.
I dare
Yeah.
you.
I
Try that. Try that weed, Ben.
I famously hate drugs.
Or this weekend I dare you to make good choices.
Right.
There you go. Okay, so my guess is a Livestrong bracelet. Travis was a hardcore Livestrong bracelet guy, and that's what made him cool in my eyes. Travis, what's your answer? Who was right?
Okay. Oh, I have to choose who was right.
No, I mean, you tell us what the answer is, but then
I wrote down a shirt with my name on it. I had a shirt that said Travis that I would wear all the time. But I will say,
That's like
I
sort
did.
of like devastating. Like,
It
hey,
is sad.
don't forget, it's Travis.
But I did wear a Livestrong bracelet and also a One bracelet, the U2 charity that was white. I got that at a Coldplay concert. I couldn't afford Jinko jeans because they were $60 a pair. So I bought Paco jeans, which was the knockoff at Bob's store in the Northeast. But I had giant jeans. They just weren't Jinko, and they had the patches like Jinko, but I couldn't get it. But it was a green shirt that said Travis on it. I didn't have a diamond cufflink, and I did. What was yours, Emily?
Dare.
Oh, I did have a Dare shirt. I did wear a Dare shirt
Called it.
sometimes.
Yeah.
that rocks. Okay, I think everybody was pretty much on the right vibe.
Yeah,
I'm
for
ready.
sure.
Okay, question number 2. This one is about Emily. What was the cool place for Emily to hang out in high school? Okay, Emily, you have to tell us what the real answer is. What's the coolest place? Everybody in the chat.
I don't even
And keep
know.
those vibes positive, y'all.
Yeah, this is. Don't be mean to me. I'm new here.
Okay,
No one's going to be mean to you.
I have a guess.
Okay, Travis, what's your guess?
Your hot friend's basement.
Your hot friend's basement. Okay, that works. I was a basement dweller. We had a finished basement. Ilya?
In high school, I think maybe like your favorite English teacher during lunch. You know, I thought maybe you think that was really
that's
cool.
some fucking vibes
That
right
is
there.
cool.
That's cool.
I love-
That's cool.
I love
That
those
is a
kind of
cool
people.
vibe.
Brody, I think you can get this. I'm like sending you vibes.
Yeah, and
I'll give you a clue.
I'm receiving them. Okay, I think during the day the coffee emporium.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't in the play like you were.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. You weren't a theater kid like I was.
Wow.
Brutal. The vibes are supposed to be positive, Emily.
I'm sorry. I just didn't go to Coffee Emporium.
And this is everyone in the chat who thinks it's Massachusetts. Cincinnati is what we're
Oh,
talking
I'm from
about.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
My
Extremely
guess is Skyline Chili, and you have your Skyline Chili 5 ways.
I
5
do
ways.
love Skyline, but that's not where we hung out.
Okay, Brody, what's your
Emily?
guess? Tell us the answer.
Brody said it.
Oh, Brody's guess.
And I
Okay.
got it wrong.
Emily, what's the answer?
I think we probably hung out at the Kenwood Mall, where remember the Kenwood Mall?
I remember
Did
the
you ever go?
Kenwood Mall.
There
Yeah.
was like a movie theater. There was like a Limited 2. There was a Forever 21.
Yeah.
Like that's where we spent a lot of time.
There were a
Got a
handful
couple
of people
malls.
who got you right. Yeah, C-Man
Woo!
241
Hey,
was
mall
like a
girls.
doctorate. Okay, mall girl over here. Okay, this next one, question 3. It's all about Ilya. Okay, Ilya, who was the most famous person who went to Ilya's high school?
Ilya, where did you grow up?
Where did you grow up?
In Brooklyn. I went to Midwood High School in Brooklyn, New
shit.
York, which is like southern Brooklyn.
Okay. Wow. So there's definitely a famous person went to that high school.
Not the cool part of Brooklyn is what I'm saying.
What year did you graduate high school?
2007.
Okay.
Yo,
I'm trying to
Ilya,
actually wait,
same, dude. Yo.
What the fuck?
I was
How do you
08.
know-
Hey.
I'm the oldest person. God damn it.
Brody was last year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was.
Brody graduated last year.
I'm hoping later this year.
I'm so happy we sent you a
Okay,
bottle of wine.
Brooklyn
You're
07.
14.
And okay, I feel like I'm gonna crush this.
Can I give a hint? This is really hard.
Give us a hint. Give us a hint.
Give us a hint.
give us a hint.
But wait,
this-
don't make it too specific.
No, let's be really general. This person is canceled. Very famously canceled.
Oh.
Louis C.K.
Okay,
Okay.
Brody
You're on the
says
right-
Louis.
Oh.
Brody
Okay.
says Louis. Travis?
Okay, he said you're on the right track. I heard him say that. This person isn't fully canceled. Aziz Ansari.
No.
Aziz? Okay, Aziz is from New Jersey, we know. Emily?
Great.
Okay.
I feel like we're all kind of on this vibe. Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. That was what I was going to say for sure. Who else has been canceled? I'm going to go with somebody in the chat. I don't know where it is. Somebody said Johnny Depp, and I love that. So, Ilya, who was the most famous person who went to your high school?
Harvey Weinstein was the closest. It's Woody Allen.
Oh.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Okay.
If you hate Woody Allen, give me a hell yeah.
We actually two famous directors. The other one's not canceled yet. Noah Baumbach also went to my high school.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, he's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, have you guys seen Squid and the Whale?
Yeah.
The high school that they shot in is my high school because he went there.
Cool.
That's very.
Do
cool.
you guys know the movie Traffic? That was shot where Brody and I went to high school.
Oh my God, is that real?
Well, Travis and I went to the same high school as the guy who won the first season of The Voice. So there you go.
That's true. That's the most famous person that went to our high school is the guy who won the first season of The Voice. And then after that,
Javier.
It's our friend Paul who
I
directed.
was going to say
SNL.
Paul. Yeah,
Oh, I know
Paul is
Paul.
number 2. Paul's a great dude. We love Paul.
I
All right,
sat
here we
next
go.
to Paul at a wedding and we pranked Travis.
Yeah, it was a bad prank where you said, okay, here's the prank that they did. And I want everybody to know how cruel this prank was. Is I got a text from Paul that was like, is it true? And then, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I just heard something crazy. And then Emily was like, hey, it's really uncool that you said that to me. And I'm an employee at Crooked Media where her husband runs the company. And I'm thinking I've said something at some point to Emily that is going to get me canceled. It's not cool.
Like to be clear, you have.
Yeah.
But you have also said it to me. We have mutual cancel destruction that we can control over each other.
Cool.
My sister Margot, who also went to the same high school that Travis and I went to, says that the founder of Pro Esports, Mike Sepso, went to our high school. So that's cool because we're on Twitch.
Brody, do you have a cool person?
Who went to my high school?
Yeah.
Mine and
Our
Emily.
high school.
Our high school. I don't. Well, we had this one librarian, and all of her kids are famous, and they all went to our high school. So her kids are Curtis Edenfeld, the author. Or did she go to our high school, or did she?
did.
Yeah, okay. And then her son, PG Senfeld, who's a city council member, and then Joe Senfeld, who is a photographer, who I read an article about because she and Ellie Kemper were roommates.
The most famous person who went to your high school is someone who was roommates with Ellie Kemper.
Yeah, that's devastating.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Next one.
Hey, it might be Emily. Actually, the most famous person from our high school might be Emily.
I think
That's
it's Brody.
brutal to your high school.
Wow, thank you so much.
Emily's famous. Next question. What was Brody's favorite class? Okay. And now, Emily, you get the last guess. And let's be specific here, okay? You could say a class with a specific teacher. Obviously, Ilya, Travis, and I can't guess the teacher's name, but we'll have fun.
Okay.
I love this picture of you dressed as a pilgrim.
Just from context clues, I'm going to say theater arts is my context clue.
Theater arts. Okay, Ilya, what are you thinking?
I mean, that's the obvious guess for me too. But I guess I go like English literature.
Mark?
Yeah, I'm gonna just like to throw some spice in there. I bet there was like some fucking badass like world studies teacher in there, like a Miss Kermay at our high school. So you had like a class that you didn't actually like, but you liked it. Okay, Emily, what's the answer?
I totally call it. As long as you're not too young, I think that you were one of the Taransky kids, and I think you loved AP European history.
So here's the thing. I
was so close.
Here's what's so devastating about the kind of person I was in high school that informs like that I'm a clown now. I really wanted to be one of the Taransky kids. I wasn't there, but I was
like close.
You were close. You were the closest.
Explain what a Taransky kid is. What is that?
Yeah, what the fuck is a Taransky kid?
I would describe him as like someone he's like a meaner version of John Lovett. He was like this kind of like old cranky like historian who knew everything, and it was like really cool to like be in his classroom after like almost if you were a Taransky kid, you like would drink like a Brunello in his classroom. Like he was cool.
What, he served wine to his students?
Bringing it back to wine.
I know this is a wine show, so that's like the wine.
Oh, Emily, A+ student. Okay,
this is a pro here. We're in the presence of a pro.
All right, Brody, keep going, Brody.
Oh, my favorite class was history. It was taught by this guy, Mr. Wobbler, who was super funny. And he was like,
Emily, what was that face? Funny? What was that face, Emily?
Why do we call Mr. Wobbler funny?
I thought he was.
Hold on a second, Brody. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Travis must sip and describe what he tastes. Alma said has
somebody spent
it.
Money. I think, is this money, Mark? I don't know how.
No, it's points that you earn from watching the show a lot.
Oh, well, that's the opposite of money.
No, it's good. It makes Twitch money. It makes Jeff Bezos money in his pocket.
Okay, this feels like a cop-out, but on that sip, I tasted a lot of lemon. I got a lot of lemon on that one.
Okay, tell us more about this crazy teacher who Emily has feelings about.
He was so just like, he was deeply bizarre as a person, and he was so funny to me.
Okay, Mr. Wobbler. My only memory of Mr. Wobbler, besides his khakis, was that he on his first date with. Why does my screen look like this? Does that look like that for you guys? On his first date with his now wife, he hit a human being with his car.
Yes, he did. He did crash into a person on their bike, and I remember that story because everybody gasped, and then I was just the fucking moron that said out loud, "What movie?" That was like my immediate question.
Nice.
Like, does it matter?
It
was the Titanic.
Did you find out? It was Titanic? Emily, it's from the sun is the reason that's happening.
I love that. Mr. Wobbler, great, iconic last name for a favorite teacher. All right, final question of this round. It's about me, the guy you know the least. What was the baddest thing I did while I was in high school? Ooh, Mark's a bad boy.
What's your definition of bad?
What's my definition of bad? Like thing that because I have the answer in my head. Breaking the rules, breaking like chaotic, neutral, chaotic good. You know, like did I cause chaos?
I see.
And evil, you know?
Who's first?
Okay.
Brody's first.
I think you and your friends decided to go to a class stoned, but then you got freaked out and you narked on everyone.
All right. I know for sure. I know for sure Mark didn't do any alcohol or drugs in high school. And so I'm going to say that the baddest thing Mark did is that he helped people cheat on their homework.
John
And
did
he
that.
got caught. And he got caught.
Oh wow, John did that. That's great.
Everyone copied off John in high school, and he was like,
I cheated a ton on my
like
homework.
loves to like please people and would like let them see his paper.
Oh, I
All right,
would have
Ilya.
definitely used that. Sorry, Ilya.
I'm gonna go with shoplifted a Papa Roach album. You strike me as a
Wow.
Papa Roach fan.
Oh wow, I wish I could satisfy that. Emily.
I bet that you got home at 11:30 when your curfew was at 11.
Okay, cool. I also just want to elevate some of these. Parked in the teacher's parking lot, bit into 2 Twix bars at the same time.
People do
Did-
not have a cool opinion of you, Mark.
Oh, I love that. But Jones says did a single drug. Okay.
I liked wore an apron to class. Well, I guess you're wearing an apron now, so it makes sense.
Remember when we had to wear we went to a fucked up school where if you broke the dress code,
my
You had a dress code?
yeah, they would put you in. You had to wear a science lab coat.
Yes,
over
you
your
had to
outfit.
wear a very long lab coat. This was not a religious school either.
For all classes, not just science classes.
What was your
No,
what was
no,
your
no.
dress
Like
code?
if you were wearing like I couldn't have worn this tank top. If you were wearing this tank top, you would have to put a lab coat on.
If you're like I am currently wearing a men's shirt, and so you can basically, if you were wearing any item of clothing where your bra strap was showing,
Or if your shorts were shorter than your arms down at their sides.
yeah, exactly.
People
And,
have
and you
different
know,
size
everyone's got different arms.
Yeah, I got long ass arms. I'm not gonna wear
Yeah.
shorts that long.
I know.
Exactly.
My arms go to my ankles.
I know.
Do they
That's why you
really?
wear Jenkos or
Oh.
whatever.
Exactly. But you like
Michael
cut
Phelps.
you cut off the jinkos like right at the like so high up.
It's just a big skirt. It's
Or if you
huge.
leave it to anything. It was horrible.
Mark, what's the answer?
Okay, so my sister actually, she knows. It has to do with agriculture. My sophomore year in high school.
Oh no, you piece of shit.
I'm an Eagle Scout, but I almost wasn't an Eagle Scout because of this. A group of Boy Scouts and I, we went to a corn maze at the end of October, and 2 of my friends and I took all the signs that tell you where you're going, and we put them in different places, and all the little kids got lost. And the farmer was so upset at us, and my Scoutmaster called me crying and said that I would never make Eagle Scout. And
Oh my God,
I was
that's so
very ashamed.
sad.
Yeah,
Mark-
that was the baddest thing I ever did. I vandalized a corn maze.
Mark, I just want to say,
to hear
you
that.
created this game and you said, what question can I ask myself so I can tell a funny story? And the story you wanted to tell is that you made a farmer mad. You were like, this is funny. I made a farmer mad. And you're like, that's what I want to tell to the 193 people watching.
Well, you know what it was? It was like, I don't want to put Emily and Brody in an awkward position, and I know too much of the bad things
What
about Travis
Ilya?
from high school.
Why aren't you worried about Ilya?
Because Ilya's
that's
cool.
right.
Ilya's cool as fuck, man. Ilya has all cool stories. I want to set you all up for success. But with me, I was like, oh, I'll throw the questions that that I have at least a story for. That farmer
Margo-
was extremely pissed off.
Margot, your sister, chimes in. All right, let's do a couple more because I want to drink some more wine and talk to Ilya before this has to
I
end.
thought that was the last question. Oh my God.
Oh well, no, I have one more for each of you. Travis, what was Travis?
Okay, we're gonna go fast. We're gonna go
We're
fast.
going to go fast.
Or I could take a break and come back.
Fuck you.
Cool.
I don't ever want to see you again. We're gonna do this fast.
Okay, Ilya, you go first. What was the defining song of Travis's high school career?
Closing Time, a classic.
Ooh.
First concert I went to.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay, Emily.
what year did you graduate? Like 03?
I graduated in 05. I'm not
Okay.
I'm not the oldest person on earth.
Okay, I bet, was that Flow Rida song about the boots with the fur? That's what I'm guessing.
Wasn't cool enough. All right.
Apple
sorry, keep
bottom
going.
jeans.
Apple-
Okay, Brody.
I think it was Green Day. I think it was Boulevard of Broken Dreams. I think that you were an artist. You were a self-perceived artist.
Okay, and here's my guess, and I think I'm right. It's that song, and I'm blanking on the name of the band, but it's like, I believe in the sand beneath my toes. The song that's about doing meth.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
So the name of that band is Third Eye Blind.
Thank you.
I love Third Eye Blind. I'm not.
That is not my iconic song, but it is by Third Eye Blind because that is my iconic defining album. Brody, you're also close because I did do a video with my friend Paul, who's the most famous person from my high school, where we used Boulevard of Broken Dreams. But my favorite, most defining song is Motorcycle Drive-By, which is a B-side of that same album, which I would listen to and sob as the CD skipped in my car. I would have a tape deck that I would put in, and then the wire came out of the tape and plugged into my CD player that skipped as I listened to
it has sort of a
Motorcycle
Dashboard
Drive-By.
confessional vibe to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I suck, and so that's right. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay, here we go. Question 7. What class did Emily hate the most? Okay. Okay, Travis, you go first.
The being nice to people class.
I'm going to say math with Mrs.
Well, that's sexist.
with Mrs. Crumbumble. It's not sexist because math sucks. Ilya.
Just based on the expression on her face in that picture, I'm like, PE or cheerleading, you don't seem to be enjoying very much.
Nice. Okay, Brody, what's the real answer?
Okay. I'm going to guess physics with Abinary.
Okay, Emily.
Okay, I am extremely touched that you thought that I ever took physics with Abinary. Mark, although sexist, is correct. My least favorite class was I took Algebra 3, which was a made-up class for me and like 6 other students because it was for those of us who were not ready for calc. And I took it. I was the only senior in it, and everyone else was a junior. And it was I'm not a math person.
I am gonna revel in that win, and also
keep going, Mark.
Ilya, you have to answer this question.
I want to get back to the
Cinnamon
wine.
Buns. Okay, I know. Ilya has to answer this question, which is Travis wearing the same shirt as that picture?
No. This shirt is much more expensive, you piece of shit. That shirt was from Old Navy, and this shirt is from I forget
designer.
where.
Yeah,
That's like Balenciaga or something. That's fancy.
Yes, you're right. It's Balenciaga, Ilya.
This is a Writers Guild minimum shirt.
Okay, what was
This is
the
an Ellen
best
shirt.
food? What was the best food Ilya and his buds would eat in high school?
I grew up in New York, so remember that. I'll just give it
Pizza. Pizza.
Pizza, Brody.
I was also going to guess pizza.
Emily?
Yes,
Pizza.
a big
You're from New York.
yeah, it's pizza.
Brody, what was your more specific answer? Sorry, I thought you were just gonna end
my
it there.
more specific answer was big pizza.
Okay, Emily.
Like a late night slice.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say Two Bros Pizza, which is $1 a slice.
You're all wrong. You don't know me at all. I'm offended. I would say it's I'm a bagel. I was a big bagel guy. Bagel guy.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Ilya, I'll
Like-
do bagel with you. I know all the best bagel spots in LA. Oh, you don't live here. If you ever come, I'll take you.
Hey,
Oh, the
Emily, have
Times
you
has
read
caused
the
a lot of
Bell's
controversy
Bagel?
here.
I know. We could go to Bell's Bagels and be like, oh my God, this is like 10%
But the
as good
water.
as a Brooklyn bagel.
Bagel
It's the
Bagel-
water.
the water.
Bagel Burger is where it's at.
I live down the street.
From Bagel
From
Burger?
Bell, yeah, me and Brody live near each other.
Yeah.
Bell's is good. Okay, question 9. What was the least cool thing Brody loved doing?
I mean, where
That's
to
such a
begin?
funny photo.
It's an iconic photo. Emily, you go last. I'll go first. I'm going to say that you fucking loved marching band, and you, even though it was lame as hell, because marching band rules when you're in it. Ilya.
I was gonna. You stole the words. I was gonna say play the flute in band, which is kind of cool. So
Flute is sick as hell. Travis.
Model UN.
Okay,
we
Emily.
I'm going to say that we didn't have a marching band because our school was too small. We also didn't have a football team. But I would say the least cool thing that you loved doing was, I bet during free bells, you just like kind of stuck around.
Okay, so 2 of you are tied. Emily and Travis are tied.
Hell yeah. What's free bells?
Tell us. Yeah, what is that?
It's when you didn't have a class, but you could do whatever you wanted. So when you were a senior, you could like drive to Brugger's Bagels.
Yeah.
Oh, Brugger's, the best of the bagels.
Yeah, you could drive. If you were really efficient, you could drive to the Kenwood area for a quick lunch.
You could go to the mall.
You could go to
Travis-
the mall. You could go straight to the mall food court. With
If
your
you were
friends.
Travis
smart,
said
you would
Model
get 2
UN.
free bells in a row.
Well, that's what
Do you-
I did. I did 2 free bells in a row.
And you did Model UN?
And I was president of the Model UN.
Hell
I didn't
yeah.
know we had Model UN.
No, it started when I was in like 10th grade or something.
Huh.
It was
Well-
a thing.
All right, well, I'm going to let you go back to your wine tasting. Goodbye.
I
Hi,
poured
Mark.
myself some more because I was getting
Oh
bored
yeah,
of it.
I've
But I
been.
loved it, Mark.
How's everybody's bottle doing?
Is this?
I kind of have
I'm
to show
about
you.
halfway through.
I'm drinking a Magnum, so this is 2
Yeah.
bottles.
Whoa. Cool.
I've
That's
been
terrifying.
I've been steadily drinking mine this whole time.
Yeah, me too.
you still like it?
Ilya,
This with some
Yeah,
rosé.
I
and a
do
big
really like
glass.
this. I like this, and I think it's very easy to drink without being light. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you think white wine specifically is like too watery or whatever, it's in that way. White Burgundy and Chardonnay is the right avenue to go down.
All right. Is there anything that you want to tell us about this wine or want us to do before we, walk down the wrapping it up portion
Sure.
of the show?
Well, I just want to, before we end, quickly talk about Burgundy itself because it's such an interesting place. I've been there like 10 times over my career. It's such a wonderful place to visit. If you ever in France, it's a great place to go. Great food. So Burgundy, again, very scary. But I want everyone to come away with this after this tasting to not be scared of it. The easiest way, and you'll see it on this label, it says Bourgogne. That's how you know you're in Burgundy, right? A lot of labels will say Bourgogne Blanc. Blanc white means it's Chardonnay. Bourgogne Rouge, also great wines. It means it's Pinot Noir. Almost always Pinot Noir. And French wine specifically.
Wait. Hold on. Burgundy includes both Chardonnay and Pinot Noir?
It does. So it's
Is it
basically
really
half and
red?
half. Actually, there's more red. But it's Pinot Noir and Chardonnay.
When I think of
That's-
Burgundy, I think of red wine.
Both. I would say they're equally famous for their own categories. The Pinot Noirs, literally the most expensive wine in the world currently, current vintage is a red Burgundy, a Pinot Noir that goes for about like $10,000 a bottle.
How much
Would
could
you
I sell
ever-
this for on eBay?
Okay, Ilya, I have a question. If you had like $1 million, would you buy a $10,000 bottle of wine?
No. I mean,
Right?
when you get to that, when you get to those kind of levels, it's not about
Like, why
quality
would
per
anyone
se.
ever buy a $10,000 bottle of wine?
Well,
'Cause you're
in that
rich.
case, it's the most famous French wine that exists. So it's relatively rare.
So it's like a flex. You're like out to dinner with someone. And you're like, hey,
you can't just you can't go to a store and just buy it. Is the other thing. It's like you have to like buy it at auction or find a good restaurant that has it on a
right,
list
but
for
then
probably
like when do you like have
$20,000.
it? When do you like open it?
Most of the time you don't. I mean, but wine is a big market. So people invest in wine and they just trade it essentially because the price of wine has gone up consistently over the last 30 years.
Okay, I have 2 things to say.
Yeah.
Okay, the first thing is I think it would be really funny to buy that bottle of wine and then attempt to shotgun it. And then the second thing I wanted to say is that my general feeling about food and just like anything that you ingest is that it should not be more than $12. It should not be more than $12 because here's the thing, it's going away.
I'm going to poop it out. Yeah.
Oh man, I that is where I really strongly disagree. I mean, like,
that makes sense. This is
Okay,
your
what if you're like trying to impress someone and you're on a date? And you're like, I'll buy a bottle of wine for the date. What is the right price point, would you say? Or what is like a fail
at a restaurant?
Like this is a fail safe, like I'm not cheap, but I'm not like buying a $10,000 bottle of wine. Like what is the right, that's what I
give the answer for both a restaurant and a wine store.
Yeah.
So for restaurant, most restaurants work on a 300% markup from wholesale price or double retail. Yeah. I mean, restaurants make their money off wine.
Literally the worst deal.
Well, food, they make very little money off food. It's a necessity. They really make their money on wine. And double retail is what you're looking for in a good markup on a wine list.
Okay, so
in terms of price, I would say 70 is like you have a good wine. If you're in like because you get about
$70 bottle in a store.
That's a lot. Okay, so what about at a wine store?
At a wine store, kind of the sweet spot is between 15 and 20. That's really the difference between $18. This is all obviously generally speaking. There's so many exceptions, but generally speaking, an $18 bottle of wine is significantly better better made than a $10, $11, $12 wine. There's a huge jump
right now.
This wine retails for about 30.
Oh.
And that's the other thing about Burgundy.
Thank you, Ilya. And I just want to say, I love Skurnik. I love Skurnik wine. They're a family-owned business. I love family-owned businesses, and I love every single wine that Skurnik wine imports. I would do anything to drink it.
This is great. I mean, the Venmo is dinging. I can hear your Venmo dinging. You should go on silent. I guess couple other practical things I want to before we wrap up that I think is very helpful because wine is just such a monolith. It's just there's millions of bottles. The best thing I could advise people in finding good wines is find a really good wine shop. That's by far the easiest way. Tell them the price range you're looking for and what you've liked, and just let them just buy blind almost. Like you have to. You're not going to like everything they're going to offer, but you're going to learn about what you like in wine by doing it that way.
We love Flask and Field. That's a wine shop that we love. She's been on twice. The owner of Flask and Field here in LA. Sorry,
I go to a great wine shop too called Larchmont Wine and Cheese.
Okay, but they have not been on this show, so it'd be crazy to bring them up.
If you asked me, I'd go there every day.
Okay,
we sell wine there, so it's great.
Will you tell them to be on the show?
Yeah, I go there. It's like the only place my baby recognizes.
Okay, Emily, I'm now gonna pitch a competing Twitch show for us to do.
Okay.
It's this, but with sandwiches, and it's always
so good.
It's always from Larchmont Wine and Cheese, and this show only happens during Travis's show.
Oh my God, let's do it. We could
truly fucked up.
Yeah,
fully fucked up. That you would do that. Please remember to subscribe because this cost me money to do.
I would much rather do a sandwich show than a wine show.
Okay, so let's forget that anyone ever said that. And I'm gonna bring us towards the end of the show. This has been incredible, and I truly love this wine. What we do at the end of every show is we ask, and I'm usually drunk by this point, and guess what? 7 times in a row or 6 times in a row, I'm drunk at this point. I'm going to ask each of you the same question. Okay. You're home alone. You're alone in your house, and you are watching Hacks on HBO Max because that's what we're all streaming right now. Everyone's favorite show, Hacks on HBO Max. New episodes every Thursday. Starring Gene Smart, Hannah Einbinder.
Oh my God.
And you're home. You just want to relax and watch your favorite show, Hacks on HBO Max. New episodes every Thursday. And you have to choose what to drink. You want to have a thing that makes you feel good. You don't have to think about it. Broti, you're going to choose between this wine and a Miller High Life. What are you choosing to drink?
Okay, so when I think HBO Max hacks, I think, Jen, Paul, and Lucia, and I think
Lucia.
Whoa.
That's 3.
Wow, classic white male correcting the only woman of color on the show.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting to see that happen.
Sorry, it was Lucia. It was Lucia.
Anyway, I'm gonna choose this one. And I will say that a lot of this choice is because this is the one that's made me drunk tonight,
Right?
And that's been really nice.
Would you make that same choice if Ilya was not here?
Yes. No, this is despite.
Right. Oh, I was gonna say that was the connection we made, but
No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's not a connection. That's just like a separate thing for me.
Before we go to Emily, Ilya, I feel like I know what you're going to say. What would you choose?
I'm not a beer guy, so this is easy. Wine always, forever and always. My love.
Is there a beer you would choose over this wine or no?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Skurnik Wines.
Sorry.
Family-owned business. Emily, you're home alone watching your favorite show, Hacks, HBO Max. What are you going to watch?
I mean, to begin, I can't imagine being home alone. Haven't been home alone in 10 months.
Okay, we get it. You have a baby.
But if I were, and there were no martinis
Your
in my
baby's asleep. Your baby's asleep.
Your baby has a general during this.
Your baby's at churnin'.
Yeah, so you've dropped your baby off on that stretch that has 3 yards in it. So your baby's right outside 3 yards getting buzzed up.
Okay, cool. If I dropped my baby off and my husband was gone and no one knew whether or not I was listening to a podcast, I was watching Hacks on HBO Max, I would choose the wine.
Yes.
Okay. Look, I consistently go in wanting to choose the High Life because I think people are scared to choose the High Life. And I'm like, this week, I know I'm going to choose the High Life. And only 1 week I've lied. This week, I'm not lying. I'm choosing the wine over the High Life. I think as far as white wine goes, and Miriam has gotten me into chilled red quite a bit. Mm-hmm. This white wine feels very drinkable, yet not sweet, not too light. It feels like I could have one glass and be full. I don't need to chug too much of it. I don't want to say full. One glass and be done and not chug too much of it. You picked a great wine, Ilya, and I'm very, very excited that you did. Mark, what do you think?
Whoa! Mark's back! Oh, everyone can start paying attention to the show again.
I'm really excited.
I fucking love this wine. I'm going to finish this fucking bottle tonight. I don't care about Wednesday. Fuck yeah! I love this wine!
Jesus Christ. He's truly not even a joke. An elected city official in the city of Los Angeles.
Travis, check the private messages. I'm trying to set up the raid.
Okay. So, wait, I have to send you a token. Mark, it is 1285650 is the token. 1285650. Look, this has been a very fun show. Broti and Emily, I want you to both say one thing that we don't know about your school before we go, that you would like us to know about your school, and then I will wrap up the show. Or about each other, what you knew about each other.
Travis, wait, hold on, Travis. It took too long. You have to do it again.
Okay. 0494596.
049
4596. Is everyone having a good time? Broti and Emily, tell us about each other, what you knew about each other in high school.
Oh, that's more fun. Broti, go ahead. I don't know, but be nice.
We did not overlap at our high school. So
I'm like in a full panic.
Yeah. And also Emily just got very sick. So we actually have to go.
Oh
To drive her to the hospital.
Here's what I'll tell you about Mark, and you don't have to answer. You don't have to answer that question. Tell me something about your high school you want to tell me. Here's what I remember about Mark. I have a very specific memory. He was a few years younger than me, and there was a beautiful girl in his grade, and I was doing improv comedy at the Reality Cafe, which was the name of the cafe that a teacher also seduced a student in, and there was a famous book written about it this year called Being Lolita by Allison Wood. A good book to read. Really devastating for me because I'm in multiple scenes that I didn't know was happening.
Are you kidding?
No, yeah, it's a crazy story. Really good book, but I was in it and bad things were happening. But at the same cafe where bad things had happened, I saw Mark in the audience holding hands with a beautiful dancer. Her name was Shannon. And I remember going, wow, I didn't know Mark had it in him to do this. And it made me go, wow, Mark must be hot. And I didn't know. And I was doing improv comedy.
Oh my
With his
God.
brother.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mark,
God
did you
bless that
date
woman.
her?
Oh, so close. So close.
Oh,
we
that's
were
a no.
friends.
That's
friends.
a no. Brody and Emily, tell us one thing about your high school.
God, I just had something and then I forgot it because of the delicious Skurnik wine, family-owned business.
Skurnik wine.
Hell yeah. Emily, your turn.
Family-owned wine. I'll tell. In the Algebra 3 class I took, which according to the comments, Algebra 3 does not exist, but I took it. My Algebra 3 teacher was.
Oh no, I clicked remove. Emily. Keep going. Sorry. I didn't mean to. I was trying to focus on you.
No, I don't want to play anymore.
God damn it.
I want to play Algebra 3.
I was telling you a good story about Algebra 3, and here I have been silent, so I'm out.
Okay. Well, I want to give a toast to me accidentally taking off Emily off the stream when I meant to make her the only thing we could see.
Mr. A.
I want to say thank you so much to Ilya for letting us drink this wine. Thank you so much to the people watching. This has been so fun. If you like to do this and you want to keep hanging out, we have another show Thursday with Shannon Woodward and with Priyanka Arabindi from Crooked Media. It'll be a great show. It's an orange wine. You can buy the wine we're drinking at thisiswine.wine or any orange wine you can find, which Margot says doesn't exist in the state of Pennsylvania, which makes me think, hell yeah, that's cool. I've watched Mayor of Easttown. Pennsylvania seems like shit. Ilya, anything you want to tell us about Skurnik wines to send us out before we say goodbye?
Just drink good wine, drink French wine. Burgundy is awesome. If you see the word Skurnik wines on the back label, you know it's going to be a good wine. So that's
amazing. Emily, Brody, Ilya, thank you so much for coming. This was so fun.
We just wanted to say that we will be on Sandwich Twitch next Thursday night.
No,
Twitch.
Tuesday's fine.
It's called Sandwich. It's called Sandwich.
And it's really fun. It goes on whenever Travis's thing goes on.
We'll tell the story about Algebra 3, other fun stories.
We have a lot of really good stories that we were not.
We talk prosciutto. We talk salami. We talk about wines go with your sandwich.
Exactly. And then we also sometimes.
Do you need any guests?
Professional teachers potentially doing weird stuff in
right. We have a mix of 3 theater kids and cheerleaders.
Exactly.
This is Sandwich where women are not silenced.
Here's something interesting. I actually was not a theater kid, but my mom made me do the play once because she thought that I was shy. So,
I want you, Brody, what kind of kid were you? How would you define yourself?
I would define myself as a real slow walker. Like that's how I would. That's kind of the personality.
I was tough on the ramp. Was the ramp?
It was if I had to go up a ramp for class, it was like, oh, I'm gonna be late for class. You know,
Ilya, what kind of kid were you in high school? Give us a one sentence description.
One of the pictures Mark didn't use in that slideshow, there's literally, I think it said loser on the blackboard behind me, which I think sums up my high school experience.
Ilya, I want you to know you're not a loser. You're very cool. I like you, and I want you to come back and do the show again. This has been so fun.
I would love to.
Do you want me to come
Thank
back
you,
or
Travis.
not really?
Emily, I don't ever want to see you again because you're starting a competing Twitch, you piece of shit. Emily, tell me how you would define yourself in high school.
Um,
And be
kind.
honest. Kind? Yeah, I don't believe that one bit. Someone, fan of Tug Howig, said they'd kiss you, Ilya. Mark, what were you in high school?
I was the cool nerd, and here we go. We're about to go raid the coolest nerd of all's channel,
Mark's
Ben
brother.
Vigent.
So
He's
stick
playing
around.
an
We're gonna
adventure
go to
game.
Ben Vigent.
You've been all wonderful. Butterpie says goodbye. Stick
See you in
around
2
for this
days.
raid.
See you in 2 days. See you
We'll
in 2
see you on
days. I love
Thursday.
you.
Here we go.
Please
Here comes the
subscribe.
raid. Here comes the raid. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Love you all.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you.
Mark, did we stop?
How do I
Are
leave?
we-
I
Well,
pushed
It
raid.
still says.
Hold on, I
we have
pushed
to end the
raid.
broadcast.
Hold on. Here we go. We're raiding. Okay, now I can end the broadcast.
Goodbye.